Hi, I'm Greg. In this video, I'll show you how easy it is to build a simple Appian application in 4 steps. Create an application, configure your data fabric, design the user experience, and set up reporting tools for your users. You can do all of these steps in Appian Designer without writing any code. Now, this video is brought to you by Academy Online and the Appian Community YouTube channel. For more learning resources, check out the description below, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Now, if you're here to learn how to develop on Appian, after this video, enroll in the Appian Developer Learning Path on Academy Online. You'll also find that link in the description below. Today, I'll build a small app to help the employees at Acme IT, a software consulting company, share technical training resources with each other. The HR department has been managing these resources in a database, but it's gotten difficult to handle all the submissions and updates that employees request. Here's what the finished app will look like. Acme employees will use the training resources site to add, review, and update a shared catalog of resources, like online courses, books, and podcasts. Users can browse and search a list of records. They can quickly add a new record. They can also open a record to the summary view, where they can see more details. Here, users can leave comments and reviews, and easily make updates. Let's get into Appian Designer and start building. I land on the application's views, where I can create and import apps and access existing apps. On the left, I can jump to other views where I can manage app deployments and monitor performance. And on the right, in the Learn More pane, are handy links to Appian resources like Academy Online and Appian documentation. To get started, the first step in our build is to create an application. This application will be a container to store all of the objects for our business solution. I'll click New Application and give my app a name. Acme Technical Training. Notice the app prefix populates. Appian will automatically add this prefix to all objects I create in this app, making them easy to identify. I will also provide a brief description about this app, so other developers working in this environment know what the app is used for. Finally, I'll keep the default selection for Appian to generate groups and folders. These objects help you to secure and organize the application objects. Next, I'll review the application security. Here are 2 groups Appian just generated for me: administrators and users. Administrators can edit objects in this app, and users can interact with the app itself. Acme employees who use this app to browse and add training resources will be in the users group. It's easy to configure security for another group by clicking Add Users or Groups. And you can even create a new group right from here. These default security settings look good, so I'll click Save. Step 1, create an application, is done. Now I'm going to be working inside my app, and Appian suggests the next step, build a design object. This takes us to step 2, configure the data fabric. Now, Appian's data fabric is a data architecture that allows you to unify, secure, and optimize your enterprise data, regardless of its location. No need to migrate any data because Appian can connect to wherever the data already lives. Once you've established your data fabric, business users can access and explore the data they need. Record types power Appian's fabric. Record types are a design object that allow you to structure and model enterprise data. In an Appian app, each record type represents a major business concept or process. For the technical training app, I'll configure record types to connect to data, and I'll configure ways for users to interact with that data. Our first record type will contain data about each external training resource. I have existing database tables that I want to connect to, so I select New Record Type. Here we can see the app prefix already being applied. I'll name my first record type training resource. Appian will automatically suggest the plural display name, and this display name will appear to Acme employees who are viewing records from this record type, and eventually when they're building their own reports in Process HQ from data in this record type. Notice that Appian does not include the app prefix here. That prefix is helpful for admins like me, but business users don't need it. So I'll leave the default display name as is. But we will add a description. This description will help both developers working on this app and also your users who will see it when they build reports in Process HQ. But more on Process HQ later. Let's just hit Create. Next up, Appian uses the same user groups generated earlier to secure my new record type. And this security looks right, so I'll click Save. I also need to define the data model for this record type. So let's tell Appian about the data. I can connect to existing data sources like a database, a process model, Salesforce, or a web service. I could also create my own data model from scratch, and Appian would auto-generate the new tables. Remember that the HR department at Acme IT already has a database of training resources. So let's connect to that table. Next, I'll enable data sync, which will cache the source data in Appian, allowing record data to load faster. Then I'll select my database table. I could add sync filters if I wanted this record type to pull only certain rows of data, but I don't need to apply any filters here, so I'll skip this step. In the final step, I'll confirm that all the record fields are selected that I want in my record type. For example, I'll update the field type for the added by field from text to user. And finally, I'll click Finish and Save Changes. And here we have my data model. As I configure this record type, I can easily preview the record list to see my changes. It's coming along, but I still have some work to do on my record type. Let's take a closer look at the final training resources site and see how Acme employees will interact with the record list. And I'll point out where our build is heading next. When Acme employees interact with this finalized record list, they can search by keyword and also filter by training category. These categories are stored in a second record type called training category, which is related to the training resource record type. Creating relationships between record types provides an effective way for referencing data from all related tables. On the record list, I see some columns have been removed, and this column features a handy link to jump to an external page. For more information about each resource, users click this link to open the record summary view. Here, I get more details about this record, like who added it and when. There's also an activity log, where I can see who made updates to this record and review comments my colleagues have left. At the top, users can click a related action to update or delete this record. Back on the record list, users click this record action to add a new training resource to the list. To work towards this final record list in the app, I'll finish configuring the record type. I'll set up the record relationship, generate record events, and that handy activity log, update the record list display, create a summary view, and add those action buttons. And I'll use Appian's low-code tools for every step. Back in Appian Designer, on the build view in my app, I'll set up a record relationship. First, I'll create the training category record type by following the prompts. Enter the name, a quick description, and then confirm default security settings. Again, I'll connect to an existing database table, enable data sync, and select the table. This is a simple record type holding reference data, so I'll confirm the source field mapping, click Finish, then Save Changes. I still have the training resource record type open in another tab, so let's head back there to set up the relationship to training category. I'll click Add Relationship and then select Training Category. Let's also define the relationship. We know that many training resource records can be associated with a single category. So I'll select many to one, and then select the common field to link records using category ID. I'll click Add, then Save Changes. Notice that Appian suggests relationships as well. Since one of my record type fields is a user type, let's connect to the user record type. I'll click Add All, then Save Changes. The relationship diagram helps visualize your related record types. As your data fabric expands, this diagram will come in handy to view complex relationships. You can preview your data in the record list like we did, or directly in the record type on the data preview page. Let's pause our build for just a minute to show you something really helpful. Let's say that you're creating a record from scratch, so you don't have any data to preview or to use for testing as you build out your data fabric. Appian can help you with that. For example, I could use codeless data modeling to create this new record type from scratch, called Conference. I'll quickly set up the data model by defining the fields. Then Appian will generate the table for me. Now, if I click Generate Sample Data, I can generate some realistic sample data. And just like that, look how easy it was to create sample data for this record type. Being able to quickly generate sample data is helpful for when you are testing your application or giving demos. Okay, back to the training resource record type. Let's set up record events to track who takes action and when on these records. Appian will auto-generate a helpful activity log for each record where users can see recent updates and leave comments. Setting up record events is also key for analyzing any processes associated with this record type later. For example, how often are new records added? How about updated? You should start capturing this metadata now. I'll head to the Events page and click Generate Event Record Types. Appian suggests these basic events to track, and I could add more below, like approved or denied, if those are events in a process or workflow for this record type. Appian will create 3 new record types here. Event history stores who performed certain events and when. Event type stores the types of events that occur, this list over on the left. And reply thread stores comments and replies that users leave as they interact with this record. Click Generate, and Appian will create the 3 record types, set up the tables, and establish the record relationships. Let's take a look at the updates to the relationship diagram. Back to the data model page, there's the new relationship to the event history record type. And when I click Show Relationships from Related Record Types, I can also see the event type and reply thread record types. Now, let's edit the record list. I'll remove the columns that users don't need, resource ID, added by, added on. The category column will move to the right after description, and that column should display the category names, like book or online course, rather than their record IDs. So I'll click into the category ID column, remove the default display value, and display the related records value instead. A quick update to the category label as well. The external link column will display a clickable icon instead of a long website name. Since that icon will take people to a website in a new tab away from the record list, the column should go last so it doesn't interrupt the flow of information across the page. Let's configure the icon. Click Display Options and select Icon. Icons are stored in a rich text field, so I'll click into that field and select from Appian's icons. For accessibility, all icons should have alternative text for those who use screen readers. All right, let's take a link Let's take a link component now. Click Select Link, then Safe Link. I'll configure a simple expression to let Appian know which value from this row of data is the URI. FVBang row, the training resource record type, and then the reference to the external link field. I want this click to open a new tab for users. A quick adjustment of the column width so the label doesn't wrap, and the record list is done. Let's check out the Filters tab. Notice that Appian automatically added a filter based on the related training category record type. I'll update the user-facing label to just category, and I could create more filters like free versus paid training. One filter works fine for now, so let's head over to the Views page. I'll create a summary view. That's the page users see when they drill down into a particular record. Appian will generate the view for me, and then I can make any updates I'd like. I'll click Generate Record View, and I can pull in related records from my data fabric if I'd like. Click Next, and this default name works. I'll review the interface name and security. Finally, I'll click Generate View, and let's jump to the interface design object to check it out. I can hold Command or Control and click on the interface name here to open it to the interface object. Now, this interface has a rule input. Rule inputs are variables used to pass data to or from an interface and to other parts of your application. Because Appian generated this interface for me, all the components have been automatically configured to display data from a record, specified by the rule input. In the interface, I see all the fields from my record type. Because I generated record types and enabled threaded comments, Appian added to the event history list component here. I'll make some minor adjustments to the order of components using drag and drop. All these fields could go into a single column, and I'll follow a similar order as the record list to make it even easier for users to follow. I'll remove this extra column and a couple updates to field and section labels. The external link field is a text component, so I'll swap that out for a link component. I'll drag and drop the link component from the palette, then hop over to the component configuration pane. I'll enter a simple expression to call the external link field value using a rule input this time. I'll adjust the label and remove the extra text field. All right, looks great. Be sure to use the form factor preview to check your interface's display on various screens, like tablet and mobile. I know Acme employees use their phones a lot with work apps, so let's check mobile. Notice that columns automatically stack on mobile. All right, this summary view interface looks great. So I will click Save Changes, close this design object, and go back to my record type. All right, how's the record list coming along? Columns look great, there's that category filter, and I can drill into a record to see my new summary view. I can leave comments about this training resource, but let's say I just read this book and there's actually a $10 cost now. Or, back on the record list, I want to add another record for a great new podcast I discovered. Let's create actions for the training resource record type so users can create and modify records. On the Actions tab, Appian will guide me through creating the actions and objects. I'll generate actions for create, update, and delete all at once. The create and update actions share a process model and interface. Let's jump to this process model design object. The Write Records node will write updates to the training resource record type and to the event record types, so we can track who's taking which actions and when. On the Setup tab, it's already configured for me. Here's an expression with a condition statement that references pvbang, or the process variable that carries data throughout this process. If pvbang is update is true, which means the user is updating an existing record, then Appian will write event type 2, which is the update event. Otherwise, Appian will write event type 1, which is the create event. Appian will also write these details to the event record types, like the user who will be associated with this event. Check out all the workflow nodes and smart services on the left. If I wanted to add a task for HR managers to approve a new training resource record, I could drag and drop a user input task and configure the data and form tabs. Maybe employees should receive an email once their new training resource has been approved. I'll add a send email smart service and configure the email message on the setup tab. Plenty of options here for more complex processes. I don't need to make any changes to this process though. Let's check out the form that users will fill out to kick off this process. File, Properties, Process Start Form, and then there's another interface that Appian generated and linked for me. Notice the rule input. Here's isUpdate to let Appian know if a user is filling out this form to update an existing record or to create a new one. I'll make a few updates, like switching the components for a couple fields and make some fields required. I finished my edits and here's the updated form. Notice that I also set a couple default values and adjusted the layout. Now I'll save changes. Back to the training resource record type, I'll add buttons for the related actions. On the Views page, edit the summary view and select both Delete and Update to appear. Save changes, then let's check them out. Here's the Create Record action and the form I just updated. Click into any record and on the summary view, here are the related actions. Regarding security, security is applied in layers. Remember, when we applied security at the record type level. You can also secure data at the row level with record level security rules. And you can secure views, like a summary view, or actions, like creating a new training resource. We don't need to add extra security today, so I'll close my record type and return to the build view in my app. Step 2, Configure Data Fabric is done. I've connected and unified my data and created the UIs and processes for users to interact with the data. On to step 3, Design a user experience. In Appian, you use site and portal designed objects to create tailored experiences for users. Since our users will be employees who can log in Appian, we will create a site so they can easily access data, workflows, and tasks. Our app is simple and has one site for a single group of users. Keep in mind that a bigger app will likely have several sites, each configured for a different group of business users. Let's build. In my app, I'll create a new site, and I'll name it Training Resources. The display name appears in User's Navigations menu and Browsers tab, so I'll enter Training Resources, but no app prefix here. I'll enter a quick description so other developers working in this environment understand what this site object is used for. Finally, I'll review default security settings and click Save. First, I'll add a page to the site, and I'll name it Training Resources. I'll choose an icon, and for type, I'll select Record List. For content, I'll select my record type, and all set. Our site has just one page. So next up, review the navigation and branding options to configure the layout and make sure it aligns with Acme IT's brand. The live preview on the right will update as I go. For layout, let's see what the sidebar option looks like. This configuration is great for sites with several pages in the navigation, especially if they're organized into page groups. Notice that I can collapse the sidebar navigation. And since I have a simple site, I'll stick with header bar layout. For background and page highlight colors, I'll select from Acme's color palette and add the Acme logo. In branding, let's update the shape of fields and buttons, and some more color configuration. Time to save and preview. I'll scroll up, I'll click the URL to preview the site, and I'll see it the way Acme IT employees will. I can add a training resource, open it from the record list, add comments, and modify or delete this record. Awesome. I finished step 3, design a user experience, and I have a site that users can interact with. Next up is step 4, set up reporting tools for users. In Appian, you can build reporting dashboards that include a variety of data visualizations like KPIs, charts, and grids. These UIs are a great option when there are known metrics that entire user groups should reference. It's common to add a dashboard as a page in a site. In addition to reviewing dashboards distributed within an app, users can head to Process HQ to answer their ad hoc questions. In Process HQ, business users can get a complete view of their enterprise data and processes without any developer assistance. With Data Fabric Insights, users can create custom reports and dashboards and share them with colleagues. Let's make sure that Acme IT can analyze their data in Process HQ. Acme IT wants to use Data Fabric Insights to create a dashboard like this, so they can monitor the training resources added to the app. First, configure record types to display to users in Process HQ so they can report on them. I'll start with the training resource record type. I'll go to the Workspaces page and select this setting to include this record type as a dataset in the data catalog in Process HQ. All right, I'll hit Save Changes. Then I'll repeat it for the training category record type. Note that users need at least viewer permissions on a record type to see its dataset in Process HQ. Finally, I'll add the app's users group to the Data Fabric Report Creators system group, and I'll leave this application and go to the All Objects view. You might need a system administrator to do this step if you don't have access to edit system groups. All set. Let's test it out. From the Training Resources site, I'll go to the navigation menu and jump to Process HQ. On the home page, I can already see a few data sets. Let's head to the data catalog, where I can use the guided experience to start building a custom chart. I'll start with a breakdown of training resources by training category. I'll click Create Report and head into the report builder. On the left, I can add fields from related records. In the setup pane, I can customize this report with options like design and color scheme. I can also ask AI Copilot for insights about this data and possible next steps. Once I create and share reports, I can combine them into a dashboard. In Process HQ, users can also dive into Process Insights to uncover bottlenecks and inefficiencies. They can launch investigations, add insights, share executive dashboards, and much more. For more information about Process Insights and Data Fabric Insights in Process HQ, check out Appian Documentation and Academy Online. Step 4 is complete. Set up reporting tools. Now, let's recap my build. I built an entire application in only 4 steps. I created an app, then I connected and unified my data, configured the tools users needed to interact with that data, and I designed a user experience with a site. Then prepared datasets and confirmed user access for Process HQ so users can create their own reports. Remember, I built a simple app today. There's so much more you can do with Appian. For example, you can automate complex workflows with robotic processes and AI, incorporate AI tools like chatbots to assist your users, publish portals so users without an Appian login can interact with data in your apps. To learn how you can build any of these features, register for an account with Appian Community and enroll in Academy Online. Check out the links in the description below to stay on top of Appian features and development. Don't forget, like, subscribe, comment, and hit that notification bell to see more videos like this one. Thanks for watching.